You are listening to the Savage FINcast Retro, Episode 6, The Savage Dragon, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles One-Shot, and Savage Dragon number 3.
Chicago. A criminal mastermind called Overlord held our city in his terrifying grip. Ordinary cops were losing the battle against Overlord's super freaks and mutants. Then, a miracle happened. When I found him, he had no memory of his past. I helped him find an identity and a life. Now we have a fighting chance. Now we have the Dragon.
This is the Savage FINcast, the FINcast that's totally tubular, dudes. This is Raven Perez.
I'm Jim Purcell.
And with us is a very special guest, Mr. Scott James, of many Savage Dragon backups, of his own creator-controlled. You probably heard much about it very recently. Comic Juice Man. Scott, thank you for joining us once again, dude.
Hey, guys, I can't thank you guys enough for having me. Not just once, but twice.
It's a pleasure. You know, I never have anyone once.
Oh, Jesus.
You never know what the second time's going to bring, is all I'm saying. You know, it might be better.
I hear you.
The first time might have been fluky. You really learn that second time is really what does it. We're going to be covering, asides from disgusting, disturbing debauchery like that, we're going to be diving into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Savage Dragon, the Mirage issue, part 2 of the crossover that started in Savage Dragon issue 2. In addition to that, we're going to wrap up with Savage Dragon number 3, taking us back home to the main series. And, how about it, fellas? Without further ado, you want to jump into some meat and potatoes? Get right into it?
So, this Savage Dragon Ninja Turtles crossover issue, which came out in 93, right around the same time as issue number 2, it's interesting because its story is written by Eric Larson and issue artist Michael Dooney.
Right. Now,
Michael Dooney is probably someone you don't really know,
nope.
But he is heavily tied in with the Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
He is, after Peter and Laird, he's probably one of the major Mirage guys.
Really?
Now, Raven, you probably know his art specifically from the box art to the Mutant Ninja Turtles NES game, the first one.
Beautiful. I was going to say, these turtles do look fantastic.
Now, that cover reused art from the comic. It was a reprint for issue number 4, I think.
Absolutely.
But Dooney drew that, not Peter and Laird.
Cool.
I'm sorry, not Laird and Eastman.
Okay.
And in fact, I have his Comic Vine issue listings of everything he's done.
So interestingly, I'll just interject briefly that probably for a lot of people, their first exposure was Dooney's Ninja Turtles. That's what's weird.
Yeah, basically, as best I can tell, once Laird and Eastman kind of stopped drawing the turtles themselves.
Sure.
It was a combination of Dooney and another guy named Jim Lawson, who did a lot of the follow-up issue, a lot of the original Ninja Turtles run stuff.
Okay, cool. Very cool.
I think Dooney did a lot of the inking on that original run, but he also did a lot of the cover art himself.
Nice. Yeah, and, this cover that we're looking at is a beautiful, beautiful cover. I think you had mentioned previously that Larson was involved doing the inks.
Yeah,
correct?
He's got a signature here, so I assume he's the inker on this.
Yeah, I like this cover a lot. I actually will agree with you, fellas. I do think it's a stronger cover than the Savage Dragon Ninja Turtles from Savage Dragon 2.
I gotta wonder who I have to blame for that left arm.
It's got to be Dooney, and I think Larson did the best he could.
Yeah, Dragon's left.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, I agree, yeah.
It's actually his right arm, but the one with the gun, right?
No. The one he's got balled up behind, I think
well,
it's behind his back.
Well, both are, yeah, if you look at that's a bicep going where his shoulder should be, with the one holding the gun as well. That one doesn't, the one going back doesn't bother me as much as the one coming at us.
Yeah.
With that, because it looks like the bicep and the shoulder are all
call it
one.
foreshortened.
Yeah, the foreshortening is a little wonky on that, but I think Larson, to me, I think it's a solid cover.
Oh yeah,
you can really tell that Larson got his hands in on the inks, and that cross hatching is you got that early Larson feel. You especially like on the hands, the knuckles.
Oh yeah,
the one coming back. That's all Larson.
Compositionally, I like the Savage Dragon Turtles from issue 2 better, but art-wise, this is like rock fucking solid. Like I like it.
I like issue 2's cover better, except for the dragon. I think the dragon on this one is got more energy, though anatomically the arms have got some issues, but dragon is there's more of a presence of dragon, where in issue 2 it was all about the turtles. Here it's like the opposite. It's all about dragon. Turtles are pushed towards the background. I like both covers. It's a tough call. I'm not a big fan of the dragon in issue 2, and there's things in this one I have issues with. Yeah. The turtles aren't nearly as dynamic.
Not nearly, or I mean on the cover, you mean?
On the cover.
Yeah. Dooney, I think, struggles drawing dragon throughout the whole issue. But to be fair, he's not unique in that. I think a lot of artists struggle with drawing dragon, especially in this era.
You know, Jim, I'll even go further and say a lot of people struggle with drawing dragon now.
Yeah.
Like, they make him too tall. They get the fin wrong. It's bizarre.
They give him properly. What's the word I'm looking for? His arms are too small. They draw his arms too small.
Yeah,
I've had issues drawing dragon, so I mean,
your dragon
I get
looks
it.
good.
But everybody does. You know, there was even a time where Eric early on, dragon was inconsistent. You know, when he was trying to get a real feel for how he wanted dragon to look.
Right.
You know, but yeah, dragon is not an easy character to draw and keep consistent. You know, Eric's got a distinct model, especially now.
These turtles are rock solid, though. Like you said, these are good ass turtles whole way through.
Yeah.
I'd say in the list of people who draw the turtles the best, he's probably at least number 4.
Guys, Dooney's foreword for this issue has a PS that says that Finn is a bitch.
No.
So there you go. I mean, he's saying right here in the foreword, he's like, dude, he's hard to draw.
Well, it's got to be tough keeping it in perspective in like every like action shot.
Well, if you foreshortening or
especially that fin, you know, and back then there was no the fin wasn't fully fleshed out and how it looked, and Eric even drew it different. If you look at the cover of issue 2, that fin looks weird. So you know, Eric, I think once Eric nailed down the fin and had a specific model for the fin, it became easier for other artists to draw, because it was left up then to interpretation, because he was drawing it with different numbers of, was it 5 or was it 4? Was it, 6? Was it 8? How many, spires or whatever they are, splits were there in that fin? So that changed. Once that became, consistent, I think it made it easier for other artists to draw.
Yeah, big time. When the source is still being nailed down, of course you're going to have people struggling. I think Dooney has dodgy. The dragon in this is just dodgy as hell, but we've said it a billion times already. It's to be forgiven. This is a really early thing,
I think he draws like buildings, backgrounds really well.
Yeah.
He draws cars really well. He makes the streets really look like 90s New York.
Yeah.
I will say he also draws Virago really well.
What's funny is I think his Virago looks good compared to the...
It's consistent. It stays consistent through the whole issue. I think he's really got to handle it. I mean, she still looks ridiculous, but she isn't all over the place like Dragon can be.
And I will say his Dragon's not rocking those circle shades, so that's always a win, too.
I will say some of the stone creatures aren't as cool as that one big gargoyle from the Dragon issue.
Right.
I mean, we get another gargoyle, and then we get a couple of lions.
Mm-hmm.
And the gargoyle, I don't think is as good. It doesn't look like stone. It's got this weird yellow tinge because it's coming up out of the sewer, so it doesn't look like the stone like the first one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, and that's coloring.
He just kind of seems more organic than the one from issue 2 looked, which a lot more like a statue.
Well, and the art's got more of an animated feel, where it compared to Larson, the blacks aren't spotted. There's not a lot. The only blacks are on the buildings. If you look at the figures, there's not a lot of blacks on the faces. So it's a lot is left up for coloring. Where when Eric was doing issue 2, there was a lot of black spottage. You had textures, so I think that's a big difference between the two, which doesn't bode well in comparison. When you're looking at the two together, it's like, oh yeah, this one's got more of an animated feel to it, where almost like the remember when the X-Men had the cartoon. It's got that X-Men cartoon feel.
I get you. Yeah. I totally get you on that.
Well, this is an interesting time for the Turtles because the cartoon would be in full swing at this point. Most of his Turtles awareness will be cartoon based, whereas these are the comic Turtles, which you can tell because they all have red masks. Mm-hmm. And so I think there may be an effort to make it look more like an animated cartoon, just to rope in those cartoon kids.
Yeah,
possibly.
It's funny because we don't, even though this is these are Mirage Turtles.
Yeah,
they're definitely not the killers that they were in the early sort of issues. You know what I mean? This would feel right at home in an Archie comic.
Yeah, and funny enough, Dooney actually drew the first 3 issues of the Archie Adventures comics that adapted the cartoon.
There you go.
It's miniseries. But
yeah, I gotta say one thing that's very disturbing on that splash page is where it says "Enter the Savage Dragon."
Right.
Okay.
When you're looking at the Turtles, I'm looking, great poses, and then you got Leonardo standing there.
Mm-hmm.
He's got his swords on his back. He's got his fists clenched. What is the black thing?
Oh, that's his tail. All the Turtles have tails. They look like dicks.
But you know what? I always thought that was the funniest choice. Those totally look like dicks. They always have.
Always will, but they're totally are tails. Turtles have tails.
What the hell is that?
Yeah, the turtle tails. And it's funny, you notice, those aren't in the animated Turtles.
No. So that's why I'm going, did he just... Okay, so it's his tail. I just wanted to make sure, because, I can't... It looks like a schmeckle.
Can I just say thank you, Scott, for saving me? I was so worried I was going to have to be the one to bring up the turtle dicks.
Yeah, I'll be the one bringing in turtle schmeckles. Beautiful. So I'm like, really? I mean, it's okay. All right, it's a tail.
It's funny. They've always looked like that too.
Yep.
They've always looked like a ding-a-ling.
Just something you live with.
Oh, jeez.
I don't think any other iteration other than the first Mirage Turtles rock the tail, do they?
No. Well, I'll be honest, I haven't read a lot of the comics. That
animation, movies, like none of them.
They're definitely
Larson, when he drew them, there was no tails. I don't think Fosco drew any of the tails, did he?
Oh, you know what? I'd have to check next time. I feel like he did.
Check. Yeah, I think Fosco did.
Because it's a total thing.
You know, Eric's turtles had the tails.
Yeah, it's something they always
really
have.
Yeah, go back and look.
I'll have to.
What's funny is they're segmented and everything.
Yeah, there's definitely one on the cover of issue 2, which is all I can see right now.
What he did, go back to issue 2.
Yeah, I see. Oh, I see the. Yeah.
But that's the thing is Eric makes a point to not bathe it in shadow, so it looks like a little dick hanging.
Yeah, and
like it's segmented, so it's like a tail, and so I'm just saying it's so funny. We spent way too much time on turtle dicks, guys.
You got to spend time on something.
Hey, I'm sorry. Sorry for the dick tour.
No, we needed to, dude. No, it's fine. I'm not saying no turtle dick conversation. I'm just saying maybe
too long.
Yeah, maybe we'll move along. Dragon and the Turtles. This picks right up.
Yeah,
where issue 2 of Savage Dragon main series left off.
And issue 2 kind of ends where they go their separate ways, and you think it's over. And then this story, its first page is that. And then as soon as they separate, they get brought back together again.
Immediately, yeah. I like Dragon's attitude, though. He's really shitty.
Dragon hates...
Yeah, did my job. Bye.
Dragon hates vigilantes. He hates other superheroes. It's his most endearing quality.
Right. And again, we get a hilarious Virago, criticizing New York. When's this city get full of heroes? It's like, it's nice. It's funny. They care. They keep that little gag going on. So, yeah. And I gotta say, the letters on this are, kind of weird and dodgy. They're all over the place.
I like it. I'm pretty sure it's Dooney's lettering, too.
No, there is a letterer credited. But
there is?
Check it out. I don't know for special effects.
Oh,
because that's the thing, is the special effects look drawn. But then the letters could be another thing. Who knows? But I was going to say...
It's a weird font. It is a really weird font.
Well, there are moments of brilliance. For instance, that rumble is cool. I think that's a cool look. Where she's Virago's and I'm not about to let that happen. And then there's that rumble at the top.
Oh, yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think that's neat. And what's funny is there's weird lettering in here, now enter the Savage Dragon. That's weird. That's weird.
It's kind of an Art Deco kind of font. It is kind of out of place.
It's oddly retro, and yet, like I said, there's moments of brilliance. That rumble is cool. That's a cool...
I thought you were talking about the dialogue lettering, which I think it looks great. Because
I'm okay with it. I don't really care one way or the other. I don't think it's exquisite.
It's kind of
it's awful.
It's unique. It's got a chunky look to it.
That's what I'm saying. It's weird. To me, it's weird because it's not what you typically look at as a comic book lettering font. Yeah. I mean, it's slightly different. Seems elongated.
Yeah, it's bigger than typical.
Yeah, it is bigger, isn't it?
I don't know,
but I'm okay with that. I think it's interesting. The sound effects are. I don't know if this is how those early Mirage comics were, but I do like. This
is not an early Mirage comic.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm looking at in the back in the ads, and apparently, Ninja Turtles number 60 has already come out by this point. Turtles is old hat by now.
So I guess what I'm saying is I don't know if Turtles of that era had this lettering style. This lettering style to me is very Savage Dragon.
Well,
which I like.
Pretty sure the original lettering was by Laird or Eastman, and they did.
I mean sound effects. Just to be clear.
Every time you keep to say lettering, I assume you mean
dude,
dialogue.
Yeah, no, I know. I realized what I was doing there. The sound effects. I really appreciate
at
the
this
sound
point in
effects.
history. I would assume that sound effects are done by the artist, but maybe I'm wrong about that.
It depends. For instance, sometimes they are done by, for instance, Ferran Delgado is doing those lettering, but, it's kind of weird because, the artist could be drawing these. Some of these look hand-drawn. And so I don't know for sure. But I'm just saying I appreciate it. It looks like they made an effort to make it, cohesive, at least with the image book.
Who's that female character again? What's her name?
Virago.
Yeah, that page with the rumble. That face just reminds me of a Roger Cruz.
Yeah.
Kind of
put him
female.
to something. How would we know him? How would the listeners know him?
Oh God.
What's his definitive thing?
Well, he was doing X-Men, Uncanny X-Men there for a while.
I mean, that's the
it's
thing.
got
She looks like a Jim Lee character drawn by somebody else.
And that's what he did there for a while.
Right.
After Lee and Joe Madureira left X-Men.
So I know what you're saying
in.
now, because she has X-Men face. She kind of looks like a Rogue or like White Queen or something.
And that is some Wolverine ass hair.
Yeah,
big time. Like the Wolverine influence on Virago's hair is huge.
This is a weird time for the Turtles because, like I said, the cartoon's going on, and in just a few years, they're gonna let Eric and Carlson and Fosco take it to Image. So it's almost like they're almost at the end of the era. In fact, once we get to the back matter, there's some interesting stuff going on, in my opinion.
Well, you got to think too. It's funny because at this point, like you say, the cartoon's in full swing. But important to note, Turtle Mania means everything's in full swing.
Oh, so toys,
You got the toys, the video game, the TV show. There's a movie on the horizon, if not already out.
Crazy thing is, by '93, that's almost getting to the end of it.
Let's take a look here. When did the movie? I feel like the movies marked the end.
The movie came out in the '90s. Specifically in 1990.
I want to say when Teenage...
Well, we had Vanilla Ice doing the soundtrack to one of them.
So, hold on. We're about to get this because the listeners deserve it. So, the original Turtles movie is 90. Turtles 2 is 91.
Mm-hmm.
Turtles 3 is 93. So, you were 100% right because me as a Turtles fan, I feel like Turtles 3, like the third movie, it was like, and it was like on the outs.
The animated series ended in 96. That seems late.
Really?
Yeah, let me see here.
They milked that for a while though.
Yeah, I was way out of it by then. Like I said, I remember I watched Turtles 3 in the theater, and I remember leaving the theater being disappointed. I was like, lame. I love Turtles 1 and 2. So again, I was still feeling the Turtles fucking vibe, like playing video games and stuff. By Turtles 3, I feel like that ship was sailing. Even in culture. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like it. So you're right.
Well, I don't disagree. By this point, it was probably towards the end of its heyday.
So for this issue coming out in September 93, and Turtles 3 out, like you said, at this point for a lot of people, Turtles are kind of not cool anymore. They're getting a little lame. So, yeah, you're right. It's funny, this place in time. But, no, it's neat anyway.
Although Turtles in Time would not come out until... Oh, no, Turtles in Time came out in 91. Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's early. Yeah, okay. Yep. So that's already been done. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I'm telling you, 93, that third movie. When that third movie came out, it was kind of everybody was a little turtled out.
Yep.
But back to the issue at hand, you got your, giant gargoyle pops up and Dragon is saving a cabbie, and it's, again, I think this action is solid. I think it's cool. I like the interaction here between Dragon and, the Turtles. Turtles are, sounding on point and real turtly.
Yeah.
It's good. This cops, I will say that almost every extra character in this that's not like Dragon, Virago, or the Turtles, I'm not loving. I'm not loving all these satellite characters. Captain Lowry, it's just no.
And these guys are all new. They're not Turtles characters. They're just randos.
Yeah, and again, I kind of feel I just feel the not caring as I read them.
Well, they're there to move the plot.
Yeah, they're lame. They could have a little more personality. I don't like them.
You don't like that gruff?
No, dude. Cigar chomping.
Actually, Eric probably didn't like that. He doesn't like smoking in his comics.
Really?
No, he doesn't.
You didn't know that?
No.
I think his dad died of lung cancer, so he doesn't put any smoking in his comics
I had,
specifically.
issue 66 when I did the pinup. I originally had Dragon having a cigar in his mouth, and I had to 86 that because he was like, "No, Dragon doesn't smoke."
If you pay attention, there is never any smoking in Savage Dragon,
except for when Malcolm was born. He had a cigar in Dragon's mouth.
Oh, I forgot.
That's a cliche, though. You know?
Yeah.
It's an understandable.
Probably
cliche.
wasn't lit.
The old
No.
congrats, it's a boy. The attaboy.
See, the best part that he's drawing is the turtles. Every time I see him draw the turtles, it's like, okay, they look good. When it comes to Dragon, it's like he's doing a bad knockoff of Larson.
Well,
big time. Yeah,
it's like I said, everybody who draws Dragon in this period, it's like they're referencing the miniseries issue number 1 design, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which, think about it, you buy one issue instead of 3. I will say it's, I think, an interesting choice to give Virago this like Doctor Strange cloak.
Yeah.
Like she just picks that up like mid-issue, And so that's kind of a funny choice, which she's like making she, I think, picks up the cloak like in the sewer or whatever, but like, she summons the cloak, like her powers get where they're going, and like she summons this cloak. But it was just kind of like, it's kind of a funny thing to just give her a character design tweak like mid-comic. I'm with it. I'm just saying I like it.
Oh, I see what you mean, yeah.
Yep. And, I do appreciate, I will say, like, the art in here, there's lots of nice little neat, like, things, like Larson being on the phone's speed dial, or like he went to the trouble to put like coffee stains on the gargoyles docket. So there's all kinds of like, this art, like, say what you will or whatever, but I think he did like work to put a lot of detail all in it. So Dooney, rock on. Good for you, bro.
Gotta say, my favorite part is at the very end when
Vigo.
When she says, "You haven't seen the last of me, Green Man," and he totally never saw her again.
Yeah. He never did see
famous last words.
Well, because by the time he did show up again, by the time she showed up again, it was the Malcolm era.
Yep. I don't think he was dead yet. He just was in prison. Or in space. Or he was dead. I can't remember which of the 3.
Oh, dude, by the way. Hey, it's a dragon. Nice punch, man. Thanks, Donatello. I'm Leonardo. Whatever. That's still good, dude. Wasn't that carried over in another bit?
Yes. It happens constantly with Dragon. He doesn't pay attention. He doesn't pay attention to who's holding what weapons like a true fan would do.
Right.
That's how you tell them apart, is that the weapons they hold. You don't need to color their masks or have letters on their belt buckles. You just look at what they're carrying.
Right. Specifically in that panel,
yes,
you can see like 2 turtles in the background not carrying weapons, and you don't know who the hell they are. There's no indicator. But,
you can tell by body language.
Oh, you can?
Oh,
so tell me who's who in that panel.
Hold on, I gotta find the actual panel you're talking about, though. I know which one it is, but I don't know what page it's on.
So it's page 20, where Virago is like, getting smashed by Dragon into the line sister. And then the bottom panel is, hey Dragon, nice punch, man. Thanks, Donatello. I'm Leonardo, whatever. So you got 2 turtles in the background. I'm like, they could be anyone.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah.
Not carrying their
but
weapons.
It's not important, is what I'm saying. Yep.
Yeah. Big time.
So, I think that's it for this issue.
Yeah. Your feelings overall, fellas?
I like it as a one-shot. I like Dooney.
Full disclosure, didn't read this till like this evening.
Ditto. Would I have picked it up? No. Would I still pick it up? No.
I actually will be seeking this out.
To me, again, being the art fan that I am, it doesn't do anything for me. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't go and seek this out. Larson doing the cover, and he wrote it, right?
He co-wrote it.
Co-wrote it. To me,
more
that's
likely
not
how
enough.
How he usually does it. He probably did it all. It did help with the dragon dialogue.
Yeah, to me, that's not enough to as much as I love Dragon, I still don't think I could. For me, there's nothing great panel to panel storytelling that I've got to go. Oh yeah, I need this, and it's not Larson's Dragon, and I could live without it.
You're gonna laugh, but for me, I also feel that it's like super weak. This is not like an amazingly compelling. Like there's not really a blow your balls off thing to see in it. There's no one point you can point to in this and be like, oh, but that part where it's just pretty much like as straightforward as a crossover gets. But for me, now that I know this is like the second part of the 2-part crossover, I gotta get it.
No, I could see that. I could see that for a lot of people because that I've got the second part of it.
I just never knew.
Nor did I.
So it's kind of cool to me. It's like, oh, Virago didn't just have... Because think about how little Virago you get.
What? She's appeared 3 times?
Yeah. And not much in those 3 times, right?
No.
So this is like, here's this character that Larson does own and created.
But then now she's buried under a pile of rubble somewhere in Hawaii.
If she shows up in another 200 issues, though...
Hey... I'll be there waiting.
Should have brought her back for 222.
Right. When Amy takes over the book.
There you go.
She can emerge. You haven't seen the last of me? Oh, wait, who? You're a girl, what? Virago has got to be the shittiest magical... You're magical, and you seem to be able to manipulate rocks. But then you wind up buried under... That's the ultimate...
yeah. Ultimate slam.
Ultimate stoogery. Yeah, she went out like a clown.
Some cool stuff in the back of the book. Apparently, we got an advertisement here for a Flaming Carrot crossover with the Ninja Turtles.
Nice.
Flaming Carrot is cool, but I've not got into yet.
You know what? Let me revise that. I mean, I really... For me, I'm looking at it as a Dragon comic.
Yep. Okay.
And as for that, I don't think I would pick it up. But you know what? Looking at the Turtles, he's done a hell of a job with the Turtles. These splash pages with the Turtles, are really good. For me, when it comes to Dragon, not so much. But I might pick it up for the right price. I don't think I would pay cover price for it.
I mean, I'm telling you, Scott, 50-cent bin.
Yeah, I don't think this comic goes for a lot.
No, if I got it in a 50-cent bin, a quarter bin, I'd pick it up. But
actually, how much did I pay for it? Because I actually have the sleeve. I guess I paid $3.75 for this 10 years ago. 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay $3.75 for it. But again, I wouldn't be picking it up because of the Dragon. It would be because of how the guy has drawn the Turtles.
Right.
Yeah.
Turtles are cool.
And Scott, if I ever meet you, I'm going to trick you into drawing Virago.
Oh, okay.
I'll be like, hey guys, let's all draw the lamest character we know from Dragon, right? I'm like, hey Scott, don't you hate Virago? Draw her, and then I'll just draw Dragon or something.
Of course you would.
Like, what do you think, Dragon's lame? Psych! I just wanted to get that Virago pin up, James.
Yeah, I probably would do it too.
Sucker! So I'm sorry, this is a little bit of a tangential aside, but before we jump into issue 3, let's have a little fun. What would you guys do to fix Virago's look?
I'm
going to give you a chance to give her
I'm not sure I
makeover.
would. I think she has to lean more into the ridiculous.
Really?
That's all she's got going on, really.
You say more ridiculous? How?
I don't know. I think she's fine just the way she is.
Well, what about you, Scott?
Yeah. I don't know that there's any fixing, fixing her because she's a product of the 90s, you know, and that's kind of where she's stuck in that time warp. She's got that. Yeah, I mean, she's a 90s character. Yeah, I would have to go.
Maybe give her some full pants.
What? Maybe a robotic arm, more pouches.
I got an easy fix.
You know?
Easy fix, dude. Switch from red to black. Don't change anything else, and just give her long black normal hair, and you've got a solid Virago. The exact same design. I'm talking all those little like straps, all those little the bathing suit, like all that same stuff. But just make it black and give her long black hair. Boom, you got a winner.
I don't know. I like the white highlight.
I mean, put
it's
it
a nice
there.
contrast.
Maybe
It's all Wolverine. You don't have to give her the Wolverine. I'm just saying, just make it normal hair. I promise you, if you put normal hair on that lady, that whole costume would come together. But anyway, I guess that's enough of that. Meat and Potatoes, Part 2, right. Savage Dragon, number 3.
I guess I won't talk about Space Usagi.
No, keep it. Shh. No, bring it down, Purcell. No, tell us Space Usagi. What's up? What's up, Space Usagi?
I'm just saying Space Usagi is awesome, and there's an ad for it, and that's awesome, because Space Usagi is awesome.
With Stan Saki?
Where do you see that? Where do you see that? I'm too busy looking at the... Yeah, I go past 25 and...
No, it's on the very last page. It's a house ad for the Usagi Yojimbo spin-off Space Usagi. It's basically a sci-fi version that ran for a few issues.
With Stan Saki.
Oh, yeah, it's his.
Gotcha.
It's his, yeah. He
That's
basically
awesome.
did a sci-fi version of Usagi for 6 issues. And,
That's awesome.
It is awesome. I recommend
Did you read
everyone. Oh, yeah, of course.
Awesome.
It used to be a Holy Grail because it was actually out of print for a long time, but it got reprinted a few years ago.
Nice, dude. Anything else on the back of there?
Nope, everything else looks ridiculous. Bioneers. Bioneers by A.C. Farley.
Oh, brother.
It's a bunch of robots and some explosions going on. I know you guys probably don't have the issue, so you guys can't see any of these ads.
No.
There's Stupid Heroes number 2. But
Okay.
it's by Peter Laird.
Oh, okay.
It looks not very good. It's too bad because Laird's actually really good. He did. I won't even get into it. But yeah, that's it. That's it for that.
Well, rest in peace, Virago. We'll see you in another. Good Lord. Imagine the next time we'll be talking about Virago in real time. It will be years from now.
Old and gray.
Oh, yeah.
Wait a minute. No, we won't have to cover that, will we?
Wait, no. What issue? What issue?
Because we did that in real time.
That's right, we did.
We'll never talk about Virago again.
Oh no,
Oh, dude. Well, it's been nice knowing you, Virago.
I don't know. In about 10 years, it'll be retro again. Maybe we'll cover it again.
Like you said, Raven, she'll be going up against Amy.
That's it. Okay. Nice. I'm excited. Well, on the off chance that this is our last Virago conversation, I mean, I think you're cool, Virago. I don't care about anyone else. On to Savage Dragon, number 3, which we got to talk about this cover. Listen, I guess I've been wrong every single time I've said it. Is this an iconic cover?
Not really.
What about you, Scott?
Hang on, I've got to... Savage Dragon number 3.
Yeah. Fiend jumping out of some splinters.
Yeah, no.
No?
It's the first appearance of the Fiend, though, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude.
But
I mean, it's not a...
Lay it on
but
me.
you don't see the Fiend.
Speak your truth.
You see the back of the Fiend.
I
You
mean,
know,
it's
and
in,
big
you don't want to
mystery.
give it all away on the cover.
This is true, but I guess it could have been done. I don't know. I'm just not wild about it.
All right.
About
Haters.
that, not about that cover. I prefer issue 2's cover over this. I mean, there's more when you're using 3/4 of the cover for a back shot.
Mm-hmm.
And splinters of wood. It just Dragon's really small. Kind of put in the back.
He's got good action though, and I think the Fiend popping up has good action.
Oh, I'm not saying
is he popping up or falling down?
Popping up, baby.
You could tell he's popping up just by the motion lines and how the direction of.
Those are motion lines. You know what? I've been misreading this cover for years.
I knew it, dude. Farting the candles out.
No. It looks like he's got his knees on top of like a desk.
No, Jim. He's bursting through the floor.
It looks like a picture frame.
He's like from hell.
I don't know, man.
I like it.
Maybe it's just as low light conditions I'm in.
I think you could have done something different and dropped where you got more of a menacing face shot, or
I'll
shot
tell
of him.
you the splash page on page towards the end when Fiend pops out for the first time
through the floor.
Yeah, through the floor. That would have made a great cover.
Yes,
because that gives away the Fiend's face. Guys, clearly there was a build-up.
Yeah, I get that, Raven. But if you had Dragon in the foreground, if you brought that not from a down shot, that splash page, and you did it more of an upshot and had the Fiend coming up and having him in the shadow where you don't get the details of the face, but you might see the teeth, you might, the figures in the shadow, that would have, I think, been more interesting than a tiny dragon in the back looking like Zoinks. As you have, a back shot of a character popping up through the floor. That's just my opinion.
But move his hand down a little bit. He clearly wants to keep the face hidden, but
yeah, you could drop the face in shadow and still show something more interesting than a back.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And the back of feet, the back of his ass, the back of his back. I mean, it just.
Some iconic shoe
yes.
soles.
Yes.
Shoeshillers.
Yeah. So, nothing like a hush puppy shot.
Yeah. So, Raven, it's not that it's a bad cover. It's just not an iconic cover.
Tisk. At any rate, jumping.
But you got to realize, Raven, you're coming off of the miniseries covers, which were very iconic. And
Craig thought those were too busy.
Yeah,
so what do you say to that? I think this has great use of negative space.
Which one? The
new one, the Fiend 3, Savage Dragon 3. I think that the all-green logo pops off that dark green background.
Also, why is it in the foreground?
Why is what in the foreground?
The logo. I feel like it shouldn't be covering his hair.
Well, this is the third issue, though. You can't be covering your logo on the third issue.
Well, why is the logo also reduced and thrown over to the side?
Yeah,
it wasn't
planned for very well.
This was the era where he was experimenting with that, though.
But
I don't think he was experimenting. I think he just couldn't fit it.
Yeah, it wasn't fully thought out on how the logo is going to fit in the design. It just, to me, it doesn't work.
Fair enough.
And there's a bad tangent with the logo and the arm.
Raven doesn't see it.
Moving right along. So we open it up, and we get Mr. Clapton here.
Peter Clapton.
There's just a great Simpsons nod right there.
Well, we should talk about Peter Clapton a little bit, because this is our first introduction to him. We, of course, I don't believe we know who Star's identity is at this point.
Right.
So this is like the first tease that Peter Clapton is Star.
Mm-hmm.
Because he disappears when he gets the news report of this prison breakout.
Mm-hmm. Right. No, I'm just agreeing. I think you can see Sam Hayes here too, who was for a while like a sort of a. Didn't they do a Who's Mighty Man thing? So it's kind of like Sam Hayes recurred a little bit.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. So Sam Hayes recurred just a little bit because
talk about that later.
It's like Shazam.
I see. I didn't catch that. I had no idea that was a thing.
Yeah, Sam Hayes. So you're talking about like first appearances. I mean, you've got like Sam Hayes and Peter Clapton right here.
I don't know the character Sam Hayes at all. I didn't think that was a thing.
Oh, he's little. Just that little. Like I said, his name is Shazam. Like, yeah, there was a little like, who's Mighty Man?
Oh, he's an Is it an anagram? Wait, what is it?
Yeah. No, you got it. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. I never noticed that. Okay.
Yeah, he's just a little red herring. Of course he wasn't, but it's neat. I think this double page spread here, though.
Oh, it's the best.
Oh, that is killer.
Low blow at his. I'm sorry. Low blow at his very best.
Yep. And double header.
Yeah, double header look and butt ugly.
Now who's the Jiren looking dude? Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah, that. Holy shit! You're right. That is Jiren.
Yeah, Jiren, dude. Dragon Ball fans.
I should post. I should crop that. Post that to the internet.
You totally should, dude. I'm telling you.
That is wild.
Yep. The Jiren, and he first showed up in Stronghold Penitentiary.
But Dart's right in it. Dart's doing what she does, kicking people and throwing darts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what other people say. Dart's awesome.
Yeah, Dart is awesome. No one says she sucks.
I'm sure a lot of people say she sucks.
Fuck them.
I think a lot of people get hung up on the Dart thing.
Eat a bowl of shit.
Yeah.
Dart's great. A whole bowl. Don't stop till it's gone.
I mean, look,
Dart's
she's got
great,
a dart
dude.
on her forehead.
Yeah. And then, even the action here, it just continues to be great. Low blow jumping in, just to get knocked out. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, Mako shows up. He's the equalizer.
Stupid bimbo. Yeah.
He's a bit of a dick. Mako's cool, but he's actually is cool. He's how do I phrase this? How do I get out of this? Mako's cool, and he's especially cool when he's wearing regular clothes. I love it when he's in shirts.
Yeah, there towards the end, he rocked. He was always topless.
And yeah, and this big breakout's important because Mako is in prison, and so is shit.
Come in.
The guy with the blade. What the hell's his name?
Cutthroat. He's
in jail too.
Yeah, he's smoking hardware here.
Yeah.
And
that's the you're dead. You just don't know it yet. He got eaten. He's like, and you got to be a hell of a sure shot to shoot a guy through prison bars. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I got a present for you.
Don't say I never gave you anything.
Yeah. And how the hell do you get now? Did he get that from a guard, or did he mule that dope from Tijuana? Okay.
Yeah, it's a vicious circle thing. Remember, everyone's corrupt.
True.
So yeah, it was an assassination. But then you get this sweet ass star.
Spider-Man. Star.
Yeah.
No. I think the Dart action here is great. See, this is why Dart's a sweet character. Just the action pose. Always.
Together, they totally kick Mako's ass.
Yeah. They're whipping the shit out of him, dude. And then you get this even awesomer shot of Dart getting her shoulder shot off.
Yeah.
That is great, dude.
I'm looking back and I'm just going, oh man, I miss this character. I miss that character. Looking at it now, remembrance of characters, that have gone way of the dodo.
Yeah, they're dead. They're fucking dead.
Most of these guys are corpses.
Yes. Speaking of corpses, I love that. Tazao!
Yeah, dude, that's great.
The bottom jaw is just shattered.
I was wondering who actually shot him, if that was if Mighty Man did that, but I guess there's a bunch of armed guards here too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little, I was like, huh? Who? What? Mighty Man? Who's that? And then bam, right through the jaws.
Man, Mighty Man is so cool.
Yeah.
Especially with the lightning bolt. He changes it soon, but in this shot, he has a lightning bolt.
And this is a great shot because, man, it establishes him just as a badass. The minute he shows up, everyone's like, get the hell out of here, quick.
Yeah, everyone's terrified.
Yeah, they take off.
Oh, I just noticed the guard getting his shit shot off in the bottom of that panel. If you look at his face.
Yeah. Catching a bullet.
catching it. Yeah. No, but that is a sweet ass splash of Mighty Man flying through, grabbing them too.
Yeah, overall, this whole breakout sequence is TNT. And again, that was a cool thing, early Savage Dragon. Like, they were just like, these guys are real powerful and we're struggling to deal with them. And, Dart and Star were fucked until Mighty Man showed up.
Yep.
They were not going to do good, so.
And in an alternate universe, we know how bad it got.
Yeah.
Yep.
We get to see Vacation Shorts Dragon.
Well, he's back from New York.
Mm-hmm.
And Dart's pissed. Well, we really shouldn't be going page by page on this, but this scene with Dart is great because right away you understand Dart is like the one person who won't put up with Dragon's shit, which is awesome.
Yeah.
She won't put up with anybody's shit.
Again, it's cool. Like, we knowing where that character goes, like Dart's like just, visual and like, attitude is more relevant than ever. All these issues later, as we head into 250, like the character of Dart still a fucking big bad. So it's awesome. It's cool.
Well, and in this issue, you're Dragon is starting to be tuned into what's going on with Frank.
Right. Yeah, he's picking up what's going on.
Yeah, he's starting to see that something else is going on.
Well, so is Captain Stewart, because Stewart's going behind Frank's back. So it's not just Dragon. Other people are starting to realize Frank is compromised.
He's on the dole, dude. And then, of course, the Fiend, like, busting through. That is a killer fucking spread. Absolutely awesome. The following action is sweet, where the Fiend just like ices that cop and Blast Dragon, just all this stuff is like the violence in this is over the top. I even love like the smoke billowing out of that dude.
Yeah, well, and this is where I guess I love when he gets shot up, and yeah, you're right, the smoke billowing out of the dude, but this is where it's like, okay, this isn't truly it's the Fiend, but it's not the Fiend that we know.
Right.
So I guess on the cover, I don't understand why it needed to be such a secret to see to spend that much time. Yeah. Where you could have done it differently, covered it in shadow, or, done something slightly different to make it more of a dynamic cover than what it was. But I love how, the Fiend is dead, you think, but, I'll be back. You almost wish that happened, don't you, Raven, with the Chain Man?
Yeah, dude. Let that Chain Man come back, guys.
Yeah.
Let him come back.
Or the what was his name? The Eternal one? Remember the guy from the Spawn Ant crossover?
Yeah.
Yes.
Again, Rock Heap got him. Killed by the Rock Heap. Those powerful magical characters, dude, just getting iced by rocks. But the lettering, I want to say, like, props too on that blam blam blam. Ooh, that's delicious. The behind the Fiend getting shot up. Ooh, that's good. That's good stuff.
Well, and I love the splatter. Yeah.
And it's funny too, I just want to say, we were like bitching and moaning about like supernatural characters, but like here we are, issues 2 and 3. Not only do we have Virago, who's a magic user, but then we have the Fiend that's like an occult character.
Yep.
So it's kind of cool. Like
those are the kind of characters you don't really see in Dragon anymore.
Yeah, you don't.
Fiend, Cadaver.
Yeah, you don't really see the
Mummy.
magic or occult these days.
I gotta say, another one of my favorite panels is the second to last one on that page with the cops, where you've got all black. The cop, you don't see Eric do that very often, where you get that very now very stylized cop uniform, where you don't get to see the it all done in black. It's
right.
It's that Chicago police look, or it's just a nice, I think, laid out panel. That whole page is really nicely done.
And then we end with the old DeKalb, Illinois. Another Hortus build-up. They build up to Hortus for 3 issues. So,
the big reveal coming soon.
Yeah, corpses aplenty. Yeah, and then this ends with a really pretty sweet Mighty Man, just a little short. It's not like big action or whatever, but I like character moments. But this is a funny kind of an interaction here.
And this is Mighty Man written by Eric Larson, pencils by Victor Bridges, inks by Terry Austin.
Yep. So a big time preview of things to come for the Freak Force mini, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so we get Mighty Man with his new chest symbol, which is that starburst thing.
Mm-hmm. I agree that I prefer the Bolt.
I do prefer the Bolt.
I do as well.
Yep.
But it does help differentiate the original Mighty Man with the post Savage World one.
Right.
But this whole thing calling Mighty Man Sam, that seems really tenuous. Because it doesn't make any sense. Isn't that like her middle name? Anne's middle name?
And Samantha Stevens, isn't it?
Yeah, like that. So it's like...
You guys are hardcore. I didn't know middle names.
Well, why else would she call Mighty Man Sam if we know it's Anne? It seems just like
Sam Hayes.
A really convoluted way to hide Mighty Man's identity at this point.
No, because if, not a lot of people use middle names. Your middle name's usually a good secret.
No, what I'm saying is, if this is Anne's friend, why is she calling Anne Sam?
Because she's in public?
No, it's because it's because this character calls Anne Sam in real life. Because for whatever reason, she calls her by her middle name.
Does she call her Sam all the time?
That's what I'm guessing. Because the only reason why you would do that.
No, I mean, imagine you're talking to your friend's secret superhero alter ego.
I would call you Mighty Man.
You're right. All right. Whatever, Jim. God damn. No, I'm kidding.
But this relationship is actually
you and your damn superhero logic.
Stop making sense.
But this relationship is actually pretty fascinating.
Yeah, I love it, dude. I love this.
And I don't think it ever goes much further than this. Because wouldn't it have been kind of cooler if Anne and what's her friend's name? I don't know what her friend's name is.
Doesn't matter. Keep going.
Well, no, it does matter.
Does it?
It does. Phyllis.
Yes.
I feel so much better.
Anne and Phyllis had actually had a romantic relationship.
Yeah,
I mean, it would have been a fascinating thing instead of what the fuck's his name.
Well, didn't Phyllis actually kind of ask for that at one point?
Oh, yeah. It was like a whole
that's
running
what's happening
thing,
here.
Yeah.
But it never goes anywhere, or at least she gets rejected. I don't know. I haven't read Freak Force. It's going to be an adventure when we get to it.
Oh, awesome, dude. Me either. That's going to be cool. We'll be reading it for the first time.
I haven't read it either.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Sweet. I just want to say it's funny. You're right, Jim. It is an interesting dynamic that I would have loved to have seen explored more. And hilariously, there was a Sentry story arc where his wife asked him to become the Sentry. And she was like, come on, it's kind of like when you ask me to wear nighties or negligee. It's just like that. It's not a big deal.
That seems weird. That seems skeevy.
Well, it was meant to be skeevy.
But Mighty Man, what I'm saying is Mighty Man could have been like a trans icon.
It's not the same.
Oh, jeez.
It's not the same. If you can magically turn into a different gender, I get you. It's like gender
Mighty
swap.
Man, the trans icon.
I see where you're going, but I don't think it works. I just think it's an interesting dynamic because, here's this woman's mind in a man's body, and like her friend is just like, come on, dude, I want to bone this man body. And he's like, no, it's weird. But they should have totally done it. But this was in a cleaner era, We weren't doing that. We weren't doing this in 93. That would have been taboo as fuck. Right?
I don't know if I agree with that, but we'll go with that.
House ads. Some good ones.
Yeah. Well, a lot of Keith Giffen.
Yeah.
We got Vanguard coming, still coming.
Images of Shadowhawk.
Which I guess is Keith Giffen and Alan Grant kind of doing their Lobo thing, but with Shadowhawk.
Doing their Trencher thing, baby.
Yeah,
Look
Trencher.
at that.
Yeah, it's very Trencher.
Oh, it's
we got,
so good.
Super Patriot second issue, which we'll be getting to. In fact, I'm pretty sure Super Patriot we're doing next.
Super Patriot second scintillating slugfest. Alliterative. I love it.
Look, it's Virgo.
Yeah, really. You're not lying.
Yeah, there's a picture of Zealot here because Wildcats is on issue number 5.
We get to see Jim Lee's not good character design on both these pages. I hate his open mask. I hate his open bottom mask.
Wait, what? What's
it's
Grifter?
Grifter. I hate the open mask.
Huh.
It's so dumb.
I actually like Grifter's mask because it's flappy.
That mask can eat my butt. I don't like that mask, guys.
How do you really feel?
That's it.
I think he's looking for second opinions.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't care if you guys don't like it.
And we got
Speaking of Trencher.
Yep.
Boom.
Trencher number 0. Fat chance of that ever happening. Says it's on issue 5, which actually I think is a lie.
Is that the title of the next Trencher?
Fat chance of that ever.
Yeah.
And then you got my 90s crush, Cyberforce. Oh, I loved these guys, dude. I loved Cyberforce so much.
I loved Mark Silvestri before he started trying to draw like Jim Lee.
Well, I didn't know any better. So I just liked it.
I don't know. I thought they always looked kind of alike.
I'm going back to early X-Men. When Silvestri was on X-Men before he went to Wolverine.
He's definitely doing his own thing. You know, he definitely came into his own, though, big time.
I'm not a fan, so I can't really say anything about
You don't like modern Silvestri?
I don't like any Silvestri. I mean, it's fine. It's just not very interesting to me.
He's a fucking beast, dude. He's good.
It's more cybernetic arms and claws. I've seen this 1,000 times before.
Did you ever check out his stuff on Uncanny X-Men before?
No, not really. I never really read that era of X-Men.
Oh. See,
way before my time.
I got to tell you, it's totally different than what you've ever seen from Silvestri, especially with Dan Green inking him.
Okay.
Oh, different inker, cool.
Yeah, totally beautiful, wispy lines. The figures had kind of, each one had a character. They didn't all look like Jim Lee kind of characters where. You know, when he went on to Wolverine, he even admitted Jim Lee was the hottest ticket, so he was kind of looking more at what Lee was doing on X-Men. But he should have kept with what he was doing because, I mean, with Dan Green inking him, it was absolutely gorgeous. And the feathery line was just, you could see it in some, if you Google X-Men covers. Oh Bitter Victory is one of the covers that stick out in my mind. And he was doing like Forge and Banshee. And, I mean, not your typical X-Men characters. Mystique. It was just... I felt it was more real, grounded in realism than how Jim Lee did the X-Men.
I'm looking at some of his covers. I can see what you're saying.
And I'll just say that if you want to see just some beautiful Mark Silvestri X work, just skip on to the end of the new X-Men run and that arc, Here Comes Tomorrow, where he draws like
new X-Men with Grant Morrison.
Grant Morrison, new X-Men. Because again, you got to forgive me, guys. I never read. It's weird. I was an X-Men fan through the video games.
That never appealed to me. It looks weird.
I'm just saying, like, he really slays it on the Here Comes Tomorrow. Like, he makes everyone look as badass as possible. Like, he just does, and the new characters he makes up, like Rover the Sentinel and the magical flying car, the whale.
I saw. I read.
I don't care about how you feel about the story. I'm talking about the art.
No, that's what we're talking about.
That's what I'm talking about.
The art didn't. You didn't like the art?
It's his modern style.
His modern style isn't. He's one that he was. I mean, back when he did Conan, and then he did. Uncanny, moving towards Uncanny X-Men, it was a more natural feel.
You gotta forgive me. I don't know that Silvestri. Know...
He actually did X-Men like all the way back, like the Fall of the Mutant storyline. What year?
The Fall of the Mutant storyline was beautiful, beautiful artwork. Wolverine, beautiful. I mean, him and Dan Green. Together, the inks on Dan Green, and then he ended up going off and getting these other inkers that kind of mimicked Scott Williams, and then getting Bat that just added all this excessive line hatching, which
I see
Dan
what you're
Green
saying,
did.
and I'm agreeing. This early stuff, X-Men wise, looks really good.
I'll have to check it out. I like modern Silvestri, so maybe I just don't know what I'm missing.
You don't. You really don't, Raven.
Yeah, I really don't know that stuff, so I am out of the loop on it. Like, I never saw it. For me, Silvestri really debuted for me in my world around. You guys are just gonna fucking laugh, but I just didn't read any corporate comics, okay? But like, I've never read them, and I really got exposed to him through like Witchblade and Cyberforce and shit like that. So like, by the time I'm reading and digging his stuff, he's already like doing his Jim Lee-ish thing. I think he's superior to Jim because his shit's more fluid and natural.
Oh, it was way superior before he left X-Men, and before
like
he got
better
influenced.
than his new stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. You know, I was in high school.
Tree.
I mean, it's a good tree.
For our listeners, we're looking at a double-page spread from X-Men from that era.
I was in high school. I was in art class. I didn't have a comic shop. Comic shops were few and far between, so that was back when you had to subscribe. I didn't have a subscription. I didn't have a car to go to newsstand or whatnot. We grew up in a small town outside of DeKalb.
And locked in the basement for 3 issues.
Home of Hortus.
Home of Hortus. So I'm in art class, and Brian Bailey, a guy I went to high school with, he was like my crack dealer. He would bring in comics because he got subscriptions. His dad was an American Airlines pilot in Chicago, so he got subscriptions to the comics, and he had everything. So he'd bring in X-Men, and he turned around and handed me Fall of the Mutants, Mark Silvestri, and I was hooked. That was my crack. I was like, oh, how do I get this? You know, and I would do drawings for him so that I could trade my drawings for comics, because that was, I was like, this is what I want to do. I love this medium. I love the storytelling. And Silvestri was my first major exposure to comics. That's Silvestri.
Yeah,
so
I have to agree, just looking at some of these scans, I got to check this out, actually, because it's, how do I say this? It's evocative of 80s Marvel in a way that a lot of those 90s artists just aren't.
And he ruined himself. I feel like he ruined himself. I do.
Which would explain why I don't find his image stuff very appealing. If he's aping Jim Lee. Because I'm not a fan of Jim Lee.
Yeah, well, you can see that as soon as he leaves X-Men and goes on to Wolverine, because they switched. They took Silvestri off X-Men. And they go, well, you're gonna work with Larry Hama on Wolverine, and Lee started on X-Men, and all of a sudden you see Silvestri's style change, and all of a sudden, Dan Green's not inking him nearly as often, because Dan Green's inks are more natural feeling and more fluid, where Scott Williams is more mechanical and regimented towards Lee's style. And I just, at that point, I was like going, okay, I'm like picking up 2 Jim Lee books. Silvestri's looking more and more like Lee. And I had a hard time with it, and then Cyberforce came out, and it looked like he had Scott Williams inking him. On Cyberforce, the original Cyberforce, if I remember correctly. And it was just like, okay, oh man, it just, there was more cross-hatching where he never used to do that kind of cross-hatching that Jim Lee did. And it just, stylistically, it kind of, I was like, not my taste.
And now you've ruined him for Jim.
I think he was already ruined.
He was already ruined.
I think I might be bringing Jim back to a happy place with Silvestri.
Yeah, you've pointed me in a direction at something that could be appealing. Apparently, he did Inferno too. Well, he's like all that classic era when the X-Men was modernizing. After, Claremont was also writing it then. I don't know, but that period I'm interested in. I want to get to at some point.
Jim, you will not be disappointed with the artwork. And I know you're not an art guy. You're a story guy.
I appreciate good art, but I can accept... I'm pretty flexible when it comes to art quality. As long as the panel layouts make sense. That's all I really need.
And Silvestri's storytelling was top-notch back then. It wasn't always about, let me get that big bam image in your face. I can do that, but I could do that in a 6-panel page as well as a splash page.
Yeah. So, I think that's it for Savage Dragon ongoing issue number 3.
Yep.
So
What's next?
Next, I think, if my chart is correct, we're going to be doing Super Patriot miniseries number 1, issues 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Ooh,
well,
nice.
in 2 batches, so you'll be the next 2 episodes.
1, 2, and 3, and 4.
Yeah, next 2 episodes, Super Patriot, and then I think what we're going to be doing is, because Super Patriot leads into Freak Force, we're going to be switching off every other episode. It's going to be Savage Dragon, 2 issues of Savage Dragon, and 2 issues of Freak Force. And we're going to do that for a little while.
Nice.
Although we do need to squeeze in Vanguard at some point. I got to check my chart. We'll get back to it. But Super Patriot next, for sure. I
admire your commitment to this, just because that is a beastly amount of organization.
Yeah. Well, you just look at the cover, the street dates, and then you just kind of make some decisions.
More work than I can
map it out from there.
Yeah. Basically, figure out where it makes sense. So,
thanks for doing the heavy lifting. That's all.
Yeah.
Hey, and thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey, man.
Anytime.
Thanks, Scott. Thanks for coming on, and thank you, Jim.
Your insight
listeners.
is valuable.
Yeah, we like it. We like talking Savage Dragon with you. Clearly, you're an old head. You got good information and stuff, so we're into it.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad I'm an old head.
Thank you, listeners.
Thank you.
Thank you.